Ether may continue to lose momentum until the merge is completed, and investors want more clarity around the merge and its implications, the bank told clients in a research note. Ether's price jump from mid-July until mid-August may continue to fade as investors seek to better understand the implications of the merge. Ethereum's tech upgrade that will transform into a proof-of-stake network, along with future blockchain upgrades, Bank of America said in a note on Friday. In addition, the investment bank expects rival blockchains such as Binance Smart Chain, Tron, Avalanche, and Solana to gain market share until Ethereum overcomes its current headwinds. Investors likely realize that Ethereum's seemingly imminent transition to proof of stake will not address scalability concerns or high transaction fees, BofA analyst Alkash Saw wrote in a note to clients. Hey, awesome. So large bank investors right here, obviously, people that are typically going to be your retail or less knowledgeable around the tech are finally noting that it doesn't address scalability or high transaction fees. The other note would hopefully be that they are aware that you aren't going to be able to withdraw your Ethereum. There are lots of red flags surrounding Ethereum right now as we speak, moving up to the merge. Traders have highlighted that while the merge was likely driving short-term price appreciation in Ether, Ethereum's native token, the long-term outlook for asset remained muted considering a weak macroeconomic sentiment and Bitcoin technicals pointing to a downside. On Friday, crypto and equity markets slid after the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell's hawkish remarks at the long-awaited keynote address at the Fed's Jackson Hole, Wyoming conference. Bitcoin fell about 4% below 21,000, actually going below 20,000 over the weekend for a while. Now just back up over 20,000, I believe. Yeah. And ETH dropped to 1559, which has actually dropped lower, and it did drop below 1500 for a little while. And let's get into that because that is the biggest impact on crypto right now. And you know who's worried about it? Poor little Elizabeth Warren is worried that the Federal Reserve, not the actual performance of the economy or the actual literal definition of a recession, which took place and then they changed the definition of it. No, not that. But the Federal Reserve, who now apparently is the only one that can call whether we're in a recession or not. She's worried that they're going to put us into may bring the recession. People determine the recession, not mathematics anymore, which is absolute ridiculous and bull crap. Senator Elizabeth Warren spoke on CNN's State of the Union on Sunday. While speaking with anchor Dana Bash, the senator expressed her worries regarding the Federal Reserve tipping the economy into a recession. Newsflash, it isn't a recession. By definition, you just changing the definition doesn't actually change the fact that we're in a recession. What you should start being worried about is a depression. That's what you should start being worried about. Her comments come after the Fed Chair Jerome Powell announced that the central bank would continue to raise interest rates in order to fight inflation. According to Senator Warren, the current economic situation stems from supply chain disruptions caused by the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict, which cannot be tended to with interest rate hikes. The U.S. has already witnessed 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth, which is a typical recession sign. However, the state has decided to change how it defines a recession and hence does not share the belief of the classic definition. The Massachusetts senator said, so ridiculous, however, the state has decided to change how it defines a recession. That line is so absolutely ridiculous. Oh, the Massachusetts senator said, I am very worried about this. There is nothing in raising the interest rate. There is nothing in raising the interest rates, nothing in Jerome Powell's tool bag that deals directly with those. And he has admitted as much in a congressional hearings when I've asked him about it. Powell said the Federal Reserve is committed to getting prices down. During a keynote speech in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, Powell said that the Fed would continue raising interest rates in an effort to control high inflation numbers. The Fed chair had stated, while higher interest rates, slower growth, and softer labor market conditions will bring down inflation, they will also bring some pain to households and businesses. These are the unfortunate costs of reducing inflation, but a failure to restore price stability would mean far greater pain. The Fed has raised the interest rates by 75 basis points, following the same increase in June. Nonetheless, the U.S. saw an ease in its July inflation numbers for the first time since April. As per the official data, July CPI numbers stood at 8.5%. Furthermore, Canada too recorded a drop in its inflation rate for the first time. Inflation fell to 7.6% in July and 8.1% in June. However, Canada's numbers were still the highest recorded since January of 1983. Well, it is a repeat of that to a certain extent. Meanwhile, Eurozone inflation numbers were at a 25-year high at 8.9%. The UK, on the other hand, recorded a 40-year high inflation rate of 10.1%. Goldman Sachs says the UK would enter a recession sometime later this year. So Goldman Sachs is already reporting that the UK is entering a recession sometime later this year. Probably already has, if we're looking at this completely objectively. Senator Warren worries that the Fed's hawkish stance will bring in a recession in the U.S. We're already in a recession. It's two negative GDP growth quarters in a row, which has happened. So that's already happened. So we are in a recession. Just because they're changing the definition of it doesn't mean that we aren't in one, right? And that's important to pay attention to, guys. However, many experts have come forward saying that 2 consecutive negative growth quarters, it says it right here, do not signal a recession. Yes, by definition it does. Just changing the definition doesn't mean that, whatever. U.S. President Biden said the same during his recent speech. And to be fair, the thing is if we're just going to keep changing the definitions and everything, I guess, whatever. I don't know what to do about it. But it doesn't mean that the impact of the economy or of what would be traditionally considered a recession isn't felt across the people, right? And that is really what it's about. And I think everybody's feeling it right now. Now, obviously, the question is going to be, is it more than likely that they're going to, are they going to define it, I suppose, at this point as a recession? Fed Chairman Jerome Powell said that some pain for the U.S. economy is ahead as the Fed continues to fight rising inflation. On Friday, Powell spoke at Jackson Hole, Wyoming, giving his annual policy speech. In the speech, he explains the pain coming to the economy from the central bank as they raise interest. Powell affirms in the speech that the Fed will use our tools forcefully to attack inflation, which has grown to its highest in 40 years. While higher interest rates, slower growth, and softer labor market conditions will bring down inflation, they will also bring some pain to households and businesses, he said in his remarks. These are the unfortunate costs of reducing inflation, but a failure to restore the price stability would mean far greater pain. There have been already 4 interest rate increases totaling 2.25 percentage points. However, Powell said this is no place to stop or pause. Powell's speech was much briefer than anticipated, with the focus solely on fighting inflation. Pricing stability is the responsibility of the Federal Reserve and serves as the bedrock for our economy, he said. Without price stability, the economy does not work for anyone. Markets are awaiting the Fed's next meeting in September, and they will see if the rate-setting Federal Open Market Committee will enact a third consecutive 0.75 percentage point increase. My and not financial advice, and we'll see what happens here, but my prediction is due to the midterm elections, we're going to see kind of a softening of that down to 0.5% increase, and that should show, look, if everybody's expecting 0.75 and 0.5 comes into play, then that would see a temporary recovery in the markets. It doesn't mean that the markets are actually recovering. It just means that it's being manipulated at the end of the day. That is probably what we will see, though, is 0.5% point increase. And that they do say that doing so will hurt the economy as it already battles inflation. However, Powell says that it is up to these increases and the central banks to manage the increase in inflation. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. You can check out the full episode here or more crypto content down here. Also, I'd like you to check out my locals page at sonofatech.locals.com, where you can become a member for free or choose to be a $5 a month supporter that unlocks additional content.